What's up, everybody? It is your girl, Jab Queen Boxing, and we are back for another one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, okay? So, earlier today, I was on YouTube and I stumbled across this interview that Bill did with the Ariel Harwani show. And shout out to him. I've seen a couple of his interviews and he gives as much pushback as I think he can without, causing controversy. I think he pretty much just wants to get the information out to the people, which I can understand. Now, watching this interview, Bill Haney, of course, is being Bill Haney. Immediately, he goes into how Ryan didn't look the same, so on and so forth. But then Ariel asked him about what he thought about Devin's performance, and here's what he had to say.
The weekend was all right. The Garcia fight, the Haney fight, the Canelo fight, historically low output. Were you expecting that kind of output from Devin, or if you're able to critique anything, were you expecting a little bit more?
It felt beautiful because it's we went into handicap Jose Ramirez. We told him we were going to handicap him. We were not going to let him do shit, and that's what the game plan was. And for Devin to stick to that game plan showed an incredible mental fortitude and discipline.
Now, of course, we just heard Bill previously state that, it's called the sweet science. And then Hawani did try to offer some pushback. He said that there has to be a balance. And of course, Bill responded, oh, depends on what you're looking for. My son 12 zipped him, which I don't agree with. But he did just say something that I found interesting. Remember that interview that Shane gave, and he said that wasn't the game plan that they worked on? As you just heard Bill say that he picked the game plan and he's glad that Devin followed his game plan. So obviously there was a secondary plan. He claims it was to handicap Jose Ramirez, but I would argue that it was to handicap your own son because neither of those men looked impressive in that ring made the second. So I just like to offer that caveat. And, naturally, Bill is a fast, slick talker. So, he said a bunch of things that just obviously, of course, don't ring true. But the most thing that I found interesting was this.
The obvious is the lawsuit, right? People said, you don't do that. You don't like that. That's breaking a code. Is there any part of you that regrets doing that?
Well, I know this building right here, this big monster, you do any violations, you're getting sued. It's part of business, it's
Right.
contracts, it's lawsuits, it's business. And when you've reached this height, right, where you're going against the big boys, it's all part of it. It's not none of that yo-yo, that other stuff.
Bill, real quick, what the hell is yo-yo stuff? But anyway, Bill, although DHP was a part of the promotion for the fight, the primary sponsor was Golden Boy Promotions, which could be a reason why you guys did not receive any money back once Ryan had to relinquish the funds that he won due to him popping dirty for the Ostery. He then goes on to, of course, take jabs at Derek James, Oscar De La Hoya, so on and so forth. I mean, here's what I took away from this. Bill is constantly trying to paint his son in the best light possible, which I completely understand. The problem with that is, you claimed your son was vindicated. You claim Ryan is haunted by the PEDs. You named all the promotional companies that you worked for. Incidentally, you didn't name PBC, which I also found very interesting. Um, just a couple of clarifications, Bill. Your son has not been vindicated from anything. Um, until your son gets back in the ring with Ryan, this quote unquote PED stain hangs over the both of their heads. Okay, your son has to prove that he only got beat because Ryan was dirty, and Ryan has to prove that he can beat your son with PED claims or not. So this is a fight that absolutely has to happen. You did mention, possibly that it still may take place in October. We will see. But just moving forward, I just wish that you would learn how to be a little bit more honest, because you were asked directly about the lawsuit and you tried to diddy bop and flip flop out of the question. I'm glad that Ariel tried to double back for the question. However, you are a slippery one, aren't you, Bill? So again, you tried to duck and dodge the answer. So then that means I have to put on my investigation hat to see what the status is of the lawsuit. If you would kindly take a look at your screen. As you can see, it's been dismissed with stipulations. I do believe one of those stipulations is the rematch, which he also stated was set to possibly take place in October. As I mentioned, he also stated that he was not compensated when Ryan tested positive for ostarine. And as I said, I suspect that it's because Golden Boy put up the bulk of the funds to put on the fight. So if you take a look at your screen, you will also find that information. You know, Bill, it's really a shame that we have to play Blues Clues every time you open your mouth, because I don't know if you're not comfortable with the truth or you just don't gravitate towards it, whatever the case may be. The truth in any situation, Bill, will do, because we're going to be able to find out the truth anyway. So it doesn't make you look any better by lying to us when the truth is right there for us to find if we really want to look. You spoke about narratives and how people shape narratives around your son. Well, Bill, you had a hand in that as well by not being honest. When you're not honest, that leaves a bad taste in people's mouth. And then some people will create narratives that does not paint your son in the best of lights. But for the most of us, we want the truth, Bill. There's no need to lie on Devin, because the truth, Bill, the truth is pathetically hilarious enough. Until next time, y'all know what to do. Catch me on a panel.